Hey everybody, welcome back to the Canning Nana. Okay, so I'm really upset right now. I just did an hour video showing you from start to finish how I did my peach jam. And my phone was full. And at the end, I lost all the video. So I'm super upset. That was all the peach jam that I had to make. I'm going to read off the recipe and tell you how to do it. And then I'm going to fix my phone. And when I do the jelly, either later today, and probably, I'm so flustered right now, I probably will not do the jelly and do no more canning today. So frustrated. An hour video, guys, an hour. So it came out really good. But I showed you step by step, and I took you along for every single minute of it. And then at the end to find out that I ran out of room. My SD card is not working, so I've got to take that out of my phone and put it into my computer, or into my, don't have my computer up, into my tablet, and then reformat, get everything off of it, and then reformat the card and put it back in my phone. For some reason, my SD card's not working. So, as you can see, I had my little tripod here, had the canner, I showed you guys everything. So, I'm going to make this quick because I don't want to run out of room with this one. I deleted some of my videos that I should have done before. Totally my fault. But here we go. Okay, so here's the recipe. 10 peaches, 7.5 cups of white sugar, 1.5 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, 1.5 teaspoons of ground cloves. Now, the recipe says on here that it'll make 6 half pints. Well, I got 2, 4, 6, 8. I got 9, 10. I got 11 half pints. 2 I wasn't able to put into the canner, so those are just going to go in my refrigerator and used right away. Jams don't last around here very long, and these are small jars, and I have orders. So these are either going to be sold right away. These were all canned, but these are either going to be sold right away or saved for gifts. So what you do is you mash up all your peaches, and I showed you guys that in the last video. You heat the peach mixture after adding everything together. There's no pectin involved in this recipe. You heat it all together in your pot, and you bring it to a rolling boil, a boil that you cannot stop when you stir, for 5 minutes. And you want to keep stirring for about almost the whole 5 minutes, so that you can see the consistency. You want to make it nice and thick. And at the end of the 5 minutes after the rolling boil, you turn off the gas and you start to fill your jars. In your canner, you fill your canner up, put a 1/4 cup of vinegar. I do this because, as I was saying on my long video, there were a couple times that we've had really, really hard water, and the jars would come out. Oh, there's a popping. Yeah, I literally just finished doing this. So yeah, the jars would come out with a white coating. They'd start to dry, and there would be this horrible white coating all over the jars and all over the lids, and it just looked horrible. And yes, I could get it off. You just wash your jars with vinegar, which I do anyway, but it's such a pain, and they just look terrible. And you're wondering if, I mean, there are seepage sometime, and you don't want to get that stuff into, you don't want to can, first of all, with tap water. Don't ever do that. Any canning recipe that calls for water, anything you do, purified water. Do not use tap water. Make sure it's purified, because you don't want the little particles and stuff that come out of your tap water. If you look at your tap water in a glass, most tap water will come out cloudy, and then it'll clear up as it goes, maybe a few minutes later. You want to use purified water. I use only purified water. I don't ever use the tap. That's one thing it's a good rule to follow. Okay, so once you fill your jars, you want to put it in the canner for 10 minutes. Make sure the canner is boiling. I had my jars in there, in the canner, warming up, heating up, so that the jars were hot when I put the hot jam in, and I let it set on the rack. I put each jar in as they were filled, and the lids and the seals were put on. I put them into my canner with the rack on like this. until the whole rack was full. And then once I was done with that, I dropped it into the canner, put the lid on, and I put the timer on for 10 minutes. Once the canner stopped, I let it sit for a little bit, remove the lid just a little bit to let it vent. Then I opened it completely. Always open it away from you because you don't want to get hit with the face full of hot steam. It hurts. Trust me. Been there, done that. Don't want to do that. You learn by your mistakes. So then you lift the rack up. Let it sit there for just a few minutes. Usually they'll start to pop. Let it get acclimated to the pressure change. So then you take them out, you put it on a towel, you let them cool for 24 to 48 hours before you remove your rings, and you wash your jars and either put them in the refrigerator if you want cold jam, or put them on the shelf, or give them away. Keep them in a cool, dry place, and they will be just fine for several years. They won't lose the color. I have a couple jars of old peach jam that is from 2009 that looks the same as this. And I opened one, oh gosh, a couple months ago. Tastes really good, but it was regular peach jam. This is spice peach jam. And as I said before, once you taste this, you will not want to go back to regular peach jam. You can also use this recipe for apricots. If you want to do apricot jam, you could do a spiced apricot jam. It's really good. And you put the same thing, cinnamon and cloves. And do it to taste. If you don't think there's enough cinnamon, as it's coming to a boil, add a little bit more. Just do it to taste. So in the last video, if you're not subscribed, I asked you to subscribe, please. If you want to follow me on my journeys, I have lots of things coming up. Please hit that like button so that I know that you're here. I have got a donation account now. I've had a lot of my subscribers ask where they can donate. So I started a Venmo account, and a lot of people donate $1 or $2. And that is so appreciated, because everything that I make, all the donations and my YouTube money, which is really not that much, I've only got 3,400 subscribers, everything goes back into equipment, food, and seals, and everything that I need to teach you guys other things. So it's up to you what I can for my family, and I can to teach you guys. So if you want to donate, I really appreciate it. And my Venmo is at Diane Grant 2000. So I hope you will follow me on my journey, and we have tomatoes coming up this week. So stay tuned, everybody. Let me know if you try this recipe. It's amazing. Happy Labor Day.